Do you hear that sound? It's the sound of their victory slipping through their fingers, piece by fragile piece. They thought they had you trapped. They thought they had the perfect blueprint for your destruction, didn't they? All those little whispers in the shadows, the manipulations, the lies. But you saw it all. Every move, every slip, every flaw in their perfect plan. And they never saw it coming. The tables aren't just turning, they're crumbling under the weight of their own arrogance. You didn't just outsmart them, you obliterated their certainty. You were the quiet storm that leveled their empire. Now they're scrambling to collect the wreckage of their own pride. Isn't it beautiful, watching them unravel? They deserved to underestimate you, didn't they? After all, why would they expect a threat from someone they believed was so easily crushed, so easily discarded? Their mistake, their fatal mistake, was assuming that they knew the game better than you. They plotted, schemed, and played their part with such smug confidence that they never once considered the possibility of someone who could outthink them at every turn. That's where their downfall began. They were playing checkers. You were playing chess. And now, you've moved your pieces so perfectly that they're caught in a game they'll never be able to finish. And the best part? They think this is over. They think their last moves are still in their hands. Oh, how sweet that is. The fool who thinks they've won, only to realize they've been outwitted from the very beginning. It's almost poetic, isn't it? How easily they walk right into the trap they set for you. The thing about traps is they have a way of turning around on their creator. And the more they try to fight back, the deeper they fall into their own pit. Let's rewind, shall we? Think back to when they first decided to target you. What was it that made them so eager to destroy you? Was it your resilience, your strength? Or perhaps it was something simpler, your potential. The fear of someone with the power to rise beyond their control. You, the quiet threat, the one who worked in the shadows, pulling strings without anyone knowing. You didn't announce your moves to the world. You didn't stand on a pedestal and boast of your genius. No, you let them think you were just a small cog in their machine, just another insignificant player in their grand design. But they underestimated you, foolishly so. They didn't see the gears turning in your mind. They didn't see you learning, adapting, plotting your next move. They saw someone who was vulnerable, someone who could be broken. But that was always the trap. The beauty of your strategy lay in the fact that you played their game better than they ever could. Every time they pushed, you didn't retreat. You observed, you studied, you waited. Because you knew the real power wasn't in reacting. It was in controlling the narrative. And when the time came, when everything was set into motion, you flipped the switch. And just like that, their world crumbled. It wasn't just intelligence that gave you the edge. No, it was something darker, something they couldn't fathom. The ability to see the world as it truly is. A place where the strong prey on the weak and the clever destroy the arrogant. They thought you were the prey. They thought you were easy to hunt, easy to consume. But they couldn't see the predator lurking beneath your calm exterior. The moment they took their eyes off you, even for a second, you struck. Hard, relentlessly. And now they're reaping what they sowed. But here's where it gets beautifully tragic. Because even now, after everything they've done, After all their calculated moves to destroy you, they still don't understand the gravity of their mistake. They're so consumed by their own jealousy, their own greed. They still believe they can fight back. They still think they can salvage their losses, that they can come out on top. It's almost laughable, really. Their desperation, the desperation of those who know they're doomed, but refuse to accept it. They have no idea they're already caught in your web, struggling to escape a fate they set in motion themselves. Their moves, their every action, only serves to tighten the noose you placed around their necks. How perfectly poetic. You could feel it, couldn't you? The moment they crossed the line, the moment they started to target you, not out of necessity, but out of fear. Fear of what you could become. Fear of what you might take from them. It's never about the immediate threat. It's always about what you might one day become. That's what they couldn't handle, the possibility of your rise. They saw you as a shadow, but shadows grow. They expand. They stretch. They cover everything. And when they finally reach their peak, they drown the light. And now, as they watch you rise, they realize too late that they were always standing in your shadow. And as they crumble, as they try in vain to reclaim what they thought was theirs, you stand above them. Because this is your moment. You didn't just survive their attacks. You didn't just rise above their petty games. You thrived. You became more powerful, more cunning, more dangerous than they ever could have imagined. You didn't just outsmart them. You outclassed them. And the worst part? You made them do it to themselves. But this isn't over. No, this is just the beginning. The end of their game is near, but the real game, the one that matters, it's just getting started, and you're playing it to perfection. As they begin to fall, as their world crumbles under the weight of their own failure, one thing is clear: they'll never forget the lesson you taught them. The lesson that those who underestimate you, they never get the last laugh. You do. The pieces are falling into place. Every decision, every move, every single thread you've pulled has led them here, to this point where they realize the trap has already closed around them. How long did they think they had, huh? How long did they believe they were safe from the consequences of their arrogance? Now, as the walls close in, they look around in a panic, scrambling for a way out, but it's too late. The truth they can't deny anymore: you've already won. And they have nothing but themselves to blame. It's fascinating, really, how quickly the tables turn. One moment, they were the predators, the ones in control, the ones who dictated who rises and who falls. But you were always the one who held the power. Not in brute force, not in loud words or flashy displays. No, the real power lies in patience, in watching, in studying, in understanding that the real strength comes not from making a move, but in knowing when to make it. And now, they're realizing that their pride and jealousy were the perfect tools for their own destruction. Think about it. Their whole foundation was built on that one crucial mistake. They thought they were invincible, untouchable. They were so consumed by their jealousy of you, so terrified of what you could do if you ever rose above them, that they forgot one simple fact. They had no idea who they were dealing with. You weren't just some pawn in their little game. You were always the king, only they were too blind to see it. It's almost sad, in a way, how they didn't even realize they were playing your game all along. They tried to crush you, but all they did was push you closer to your own destiny. They took their shots, but each one only made you stronger. Each time they came for you, you learned. You grew. And now, here they are, scrambling to repair the damage they've done to themselves, while you stand tall, watching it all burn. They should have known that you were never going to be their victim. You were never going to lie down and take it. And here's the beauty of it. They didn't just underestimate your strength. They underestimated your ability to learn, to adapt, to evolve. You've spent years honing your mind, your instincts, your ability to read the room, to read people, to understand the games they play. You've spent years watching, quietly, patiently, waiting for the right moment. And when that moment came, you didn't hesitate. You struck. And now they're left with nothing but their own bitterness. Let's talk about that bitterness, shall we? It's a funny thing. It eats away at them. It's a poison that can never be cured. It clouds their judgment, their actions, and it makes them blind to what's truly happening. The jealousy, it's eating them alive. Every time they look at you, every time they see you stand a little taller, rise a little higher, it eats at them. They can't handle the thought of you outshining them. They thought they could manipulate you, control you, break you down, but instead, you turned their own weapons against them. They hate you now, not for what you've done, but for what you represent. You represent the thing they could never be, unstoppable. They thought they could break you, make you crumble under the weight of their plans. But they didn't realize something crucial. You don't just break. You bend, you twist, you evolve, and then you strike. And every time you do, you make them question their own abilities, their own power, and they can't stand it. Their insecurity is bleeding through every decision, every action, every word. But what's even more beautiful, they still don't understand. They're still clinging to the illusion that they're somehow going to turn things around, that they can fix the mess they've made. They can't. The moment they decided to target you, to make you their enemy, they sealed their fate. They chose their path, and now they're stuck walking it, unable to stop. The more they try to fight, the tighter the grip gets, the deeper the hole they dig for themselves becomes. Their downfall wasn't just inevitable, it was necessary. The world doesn't make room for the arrogant, the jealous, the manipulative forever. At some point, the universe rebalances itself. And when it does, it takes no prisoners. You were always meant to rise. And their jealousy? It was just the catalyst, the spark that ignited the chain of events that would lead to their destruction. They played their hand, and they lost. You played your hand, and now you're the one with everything. Look at them now, desperate, panicking. Their desperation is palpable. It's in the way they talk, the way they move, the way they look over their shoulders, expecting the worst. The very thing they've been trying to avoid, the thing they've feared all along, is happening. And the funny thing is, they can't stop it. They tried to control you, break you, push you into a corner. But all they did was force you to evolve into something they couldn't control, something they can't even comprehend. And now, as their world starts to crumble, they finally understand the weight of their mistake. But it's too late. The damage is done. And now you stand here, looking at the wreckage they've created, the wreckage they tried to bury you under. But you didn't just rise from it. You thrived. You became something more, something they could never have anticipated. And what do they have now? Nothing. No plan. No hope. Just their shattered egos and their own downfall. What's next for you? The world lies at your feet. The ones who thought they could control you, who thought they could break you, have already sealed their fate. And now, the only thing left is to watch them struggle as they try to undo what they've done. They can't. They never will. And you'll be there, watching it all unfold, knowing that you are always 2 steps ahead. As they scramble, trying to pick up the pieces of their shattered world, you know the truth. This is just the beginning. Your enemies may be down, but they're not out yet. They'll fight. They'll try to claw their way back, but they'll never succeed. And when they finally accept the inevitable, when they realize that they've already lost, they'll understand the most painful truth of all. It was never about being stronger, faster, or smarter. It was about understanding the game better than they ever could. And now, as they fade into the background, you rise. Stronger, smarter, more dangerous than they could have ever imagined. But you don't just want revenge. No. You want something more. You want to watch as they crawl to the edges of their lives, desperate to pick up the pieces of their own failures. You want to make sure they know, without a shadow of a doubt, that they were never going to win. Not when they chose to target you. Not when they chose to make you their enemy. And as they fall, as their world crumbles around them, one thing will be clear. They'll never be able to stop you. You've already won. You're untouchable. And nothing will ever change that. The final curtain is falling. The show's over, and the audience, the ones who've been sitting on the edge of their seats waiting for their twisted game to unfold, can't help but watch in stunned silence as the pieces they once controlled slip through their fingers. It's a strange feeling, isn't it? Watching them squirm, watching them fight against the inevitable, when they could have seen it coming all along. But arrogance always blinds the eyes. They thought they were too smart, too clever, too untouchable. And now, all that's left is the bitter taste of their own demise. You, on the other hand, stand there, unmoving, unshaken, the orchestrator of this entire spectacle. They tried to drown you in their chaos, tried to bury you under their manipulation, under their schemes, under their petty little games. But you were never meant to be buried. You were born to rise. And now, here you are, watching as they struggle to keep their heads above water, desperately trying to stay afloat as their own weight drags them under. The thing they never realized, the thing that sealed their fate, was that you didn't need to stoop to their level. You didn't need to play their game. You didn't need to lower yourself to their dirty tricks or petty slanders. You had something they didn't: patience, strategy, a mind that saw beyond the short-term chaos and into the long game. You outwitted them. And now, you watch as their envy and jealousy consume them from within. They tried to take what was yours. They tried to ruin you, break you, make you question your every move. And yet, the more they pushed, the more they prodded, the more you grew. They never understood that you were just like the storm, calm before the chaos. But once you hit hard. And now, the storm is in full force, and they have nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. It's laughable, really, how they thought they could come after you without consequences, how they believed their power was enough to silence you, to crush you. But their arrogance, their jealousy, their desperation only fueled your rise. Their blind hatred became your weapon. They gave you the strength to rise higher than you ever could have imagined. It's almost poetic, isn't it? Watching them spiral, knowing they have no one but themselves to blame. They thought they could tear you down, make you feel small, insignificant. But you've proven them wrong at every turn. And now, as they try to piece their world back together, they can only look up at you with envy, jealousy, and ultimately, fear. They know they've lost. They know that no matter how hard they fight, no matter what they do, they'll never be able to undo the damage they've caused. You're already too far gone, too far ahead. They can't catch up, and they'll never stop hating you for it. But let's not forget, this isn't about them. No, this is about you. This is about the rise you've made, the strength you've found, the power you've claimed as your own. They may have tried to break you, but they didn't realize that they were only helping you discover a version of yourself they could never have imagined. You've turned your pain into power, your suffering into strength, your frustration into unstoppable momentum. And now, they're left in your wake, watching as you march forward, unstoppable. Their jealousy will never end. The bitterness, the hatred, it will consume them until there's nothing left but hollow shells of the people they once were. They'll try to rebuild, but they'll never be the same. They'll never be able to escape the stain of their own actions, their own mistakes. And no matter how much they lie to themselves, no matter how much they pretend they still have control, deep down, they'll always know the truth. They tried to take you down, and they failed, miserably. And it's a failure they'll carry with them forever. But what does this mean for you? What's next for the one who has outsmarted them, outlasted them, outgrown them? You've already claimed victory. The world lies at your feet. They've already shown their hand. And now they can only sit back and watch as you rise to the top, knowing they had no part in it. They had no power, no influence, no say in what comes next. The power has always been yours. It always was. And as for them, as they desperately try to regain control, to take back what they believe is theirs, they're already too late. They've already lost. The seeds of their destruction were planted the moment they made the mistake of crossing you. The moment they believed they could tear you down, make you bow to their will. They can't undo it. They can't fix it. They can't take back the damage they've done. The world has already shifted, and they'll never be able to put it back the way it was. You watch them flail, their desperation growing by the second. They make more mistakes. They dig their hole deeper. And you stand firm, unshaken, watching it all unfold, because you've already won. And no matter how much they fight, no matter how much they scheme, they'll never be able to touch you again. You've already outsmarted them. You've already outplayed them. And now, all that's left is for them to realize that they were never your equal. They never could be. And while they burn, while they flounder, while they try to save face and hold on to the crumbling remnants of their pride, you can't help but think one final thing. They never knew what hit them. They never saw you coming. They never realized the depths of your mind, the power of your patience. And now, As you walk away from their ashes, you know this. You are the one who has won. You are the one who has proven them all wrong. And they'll have to live with the fact that, in the end, they were nothing more than players in a game you'd already mastered. You've outsmarted them. You've risen above them. You've claimed victory, not just over them, but over everything that ever tried to bring you down. And now, as the final chapter closes, you walk into your future with nothing but the satisfaction of knowing that you were always one step ahead.